You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
Welcome to another edition of the OHL in 60 podcast with Colin Ward. I'm Reece, Doumani. We've got BC behind the scenes running pretty well everything, making sure we look good, sound good. We have perfect visuals to cover our faces, so you don't have to see it for all 60 minutes. It's working out pretty well. So thanks so much for tuning in to another edition of the show, wherever you get your podcasts, of course, and on the Armchair GM Sports Network official YouTube page. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss anything throughout the 2025-2026 season. We've got a number of topics to get to. It's going to be a pretty good show. A lot has happened, I would say, in the last 48 hours, 48 to 72 hours. Quite a bit has happened. So we'll run through all of the stuff for you here up top. If you're watching us, you can see all the show topics. I'll read them off for anyone listening in audio form. But OHL headlines, that might be quite a bit of the show. That might take up quite a big chunk because there's quite a few to go over. Another effect, the OHL in 60 effect. Luchanko and Martin have returned. We'll touch on that. There it is. Hashtag effect on show
and that'll
topics.
Go hand in hand.
Love that. Oh yeah, absolutely.
The headlines.
Yeah, they'll kind of mix into things, but I also have some thoughts on the sued jerseys and the letters, and we'll get into that. I'm not 1,000% thrilled on those, but we'll get to players of the week as well. Some World Junior news dropped on Monday. We'll touch on that. The OHL markets that'll be involved in that. James Boyd getting promoted from the Ottawa 67s to the Ontario Hockey League. We'll chat about that, and then the power rankings, of course, to wrap up the show. But before we do get started on all of the topics, hockey or not, because I've got a question to ask people right off the top. Got some tough news this past week. Jake Patterson, former London Knights goaltender, had passed away, and that's pretty tough. I read an article. I'm not going to confirm the cause of death for him, but I saw an article that had confirmed it for me. If you want to find out what happened, go do your research. But we're going to focus on Jake Patterson, the guy and the goalie, because Colin Ward, you can speak to this probably a lot better than myself or even BC could. But that's tough news because it seems like it's happening quite often nowadays, and it's really unfortunate to see these announcements keep popping up.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. It's very unfortunate. Jake Patterson, one of my first autographs. Well, not one of my first, but I remember I got his autograph before going to a game in Guelph.
What'd he sign?
Puck.
Nice.
As a kid, got a puck in warm-ups, get it signed.
Love that.
Or the program, big program guy. Hockey cards every year at the beginning of the year. Because I used to always want to go to the Knights camps as a kid, right? So I remember going to like at the beginning of the year, the first game, I would always get as soon as they come out, I'd get the hockey cards. Mm-hmm. And you go to Knights camp, March break, you get them signed. And I remember Jake Patterson was one of the big ones. Goalie, I was a goalie. So growing up, Adam, this was my favorite goaltender for the London Knights. Him and Gerald Coleman in the big year there, then going to Steve Mason. And the list goes on. But Jake Patterson, Michael Hauser, Anthony Stolarz in that mix. Those are always those are cool memories. And for Jake Patterson, he had one of the best runs in Knights history with the one playoff run that they had there. And I think it was when Stolarz got suspended. I remember they're playing Windsor. Either he got suspended or the one when he got hurt. But anyways, both times Jake Patterson stepped up to play. and delivered. I remember the one where the suspension happened to Stolars and Patterson stepped in and saved the day for the Knights. But Jake Patterson, I mean, a couple times I've met him getting autographs and stuff as a little kid, probably annoying little kid. Those were always cool memories. I just remember getting the time of day from Jake, and it's definitely a sad day for the hockey world. Sault Ste. Marie native. Definitely a sad day for the OHL world. This happens too much, and it's too bad. It's like, obviously it sucks, but like, it's too bad because it really makes you really got to make sure you can spend the quality time with your loved ones, with your family every single day, because you never know, and that sucks. Like it's the worst. So it's too bad. It's very sad it's sad for everyone in the Patterson family. Condolences to the family. That's horrible. You don't imagine that, and yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't really explain it any other way than it sucks. Yeah, it's a great point, Wardy. So yeah, condolences to the Patterson family, friends, family, of course. Jake Patterson, rest in peace. That was not awesome news to see come through the through the Twitter chain this past week. But yeah, I mean, on to more current events now. And Colin, I'm going to ask a question off the top. Because it was bothering me. And it kind of takes us back to an old segment of ours that we used to have at the TSN studios called the Road Trip Stories or whatever it was. Traffic Reports. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So from St. Catharines, obviously driving into Brantford for Bulldogs games, for Junior B games for the Brantford Titans as well. Driving through Hamilton and up the Red Hill and the Link, which I still think 80 kilometers an hour is a horrible idea for a freeway. Just my personal opinion. But this past weekend, you see city workers out on the highway grabbing like the trash and picking up trash at the side of the road. Why don't we have prisoners do that?
Like in the States?
We see that in the States. And Troy Islikar, one of the color commentators for the Brantford Bulldogs, former cop, he might have the answer for this, so I'm probably going to get a DM. But why don't we make prisoners pick up trash? I don't know. That was part of my road trip report from this past weekend because, like, I feel like the city could save a ton of money. Instead of sending out city workers, we send out prisoners to actually do that in their orange jumpsuits. You have them chained up still, but enjoy picking up the trash, guys, because I mean, it fits the crime. Just my personal opinion, but I mean, yeah, you would get the ones that would try to run away, of course, but don't cops have guns? I don't know.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Just my road trip thoughts from this past week. I don't know.
I know. It's an interesting question you raise. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's interesting for sure. I know in the States it's a big thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I don't know. Just I had to get that off my chest because I know we had our road trip thoughts segment when we were at TSN, so that was just an observation. Also, and this has been a common theme, Colin, at least in Brantford. Teams not having their own buses.
Yeah.
That's
Generals did.
Generals did. Ottawa did not.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I remember one time last year, Larry Malott tweeted out that the Guelph Storm had the Niagara Ice Dogs bus.
I think I remember that too.
That makes zero sense.
Yeah,
also another observation, but
they should get first priority. They should get first priority on the buses for sure. Like if you own, like obviously I don't think they own the bus lines. A bus line company would, but they should get first dibs. And honestly, it's like a respect thing. It's like, why do you tuck in your dress shirt? Why do you tuck in your baseball jersey? Like, it's just cool. Like, it's just one of those things I feel like it's a pretty strong unwritten rule. Might as well be a written rule, but no, I agree with you on that one, 100%. I think like it's worth it just to pay the little extra for some. Maybe for some teams, expenses are what they are. 407 bills, post-game meals, they add up. So I think that it's one of those things that for some teams it's unfortunate, but hopefully teams can step up and do it. But there you go. That's my 2 cents.
Well, I know it's hard for some
teams
pay for the wrap, so I don't know. You pay to wrap the bus, you should get priority. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100%. I do. I think that, but you never know, right? Expenses are what they are. Joking aside, like it's a reality sometimes, but
yeah,
most teams that can afford it, I hope push that to the bus lines. Maybe that's why we do see that. Maybe that's why the teams that do bring the buses in, that's what maybe it is a thing. I don't know. All joking aside, I think expenses it is what they are, right? But hopefully teams do that. It just looks better. It looks great when you go in, when you pull in the arena and you see the bus there under the arena, pulling in the arena. It's actually a team's bus. Honestly, the little stuff about seeing the bus on the highway. I remember as a little kid, Batter Bus, the official bus supplier of the London Knights, all the time. I was a little kid. Every single time I saw a Batter Bus, I would say that because London Knights at the time. I know Sarnia's Batter Bus as well, but Batter Bus and Chucks, Reece, are the two things. You ask me whose bus they are or where a Chucks is. Concierge.
Hey,
Chuck.
There's a third one. Every time you drive past Holly Gully.
Yeah, Holly Gully, London Knights hockey.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it used to be Rockies presents Knights on the power play, but then Rockies closed down. I think they closed down. I know the one on the highways closed, and I think that's the only one that there was. But I'm not 100% sure with that one. But if you need to know where the Chucks is, it's just down the road on Wellington. But not Wellington there next year.
Man.
But, yeah.
All right. Yeah. So to get to some of the headlines here, the Oshawa Generals and the Sioux Greyhounds hooking up for a trade this past week, and not necessarily a small trade. I don't know how big it is either, but the Sioux Greyhounds sending Charlie Hilton and their 6th rounder in 2028 to the Oshawa Generals for Oshawa's 3rd in 2029 and a conditional 10th in 2029. And I did see the voice of the Generals, Jack Moore, tweet out that he's been around the club, made the trip to Brantford, has not played yet. However, it looks like his debut is planned for this weekend, I guess you could say.
Well, quite the story. From the outside looking in, it looked like he was almost done with hockey. I got to be careful how I phrase that, but from the outside looking in and the questions that Jack was getting, it looked as if like there's a lot of questions that he's not coming to Oshawa. I know he's from the area, so that I'd be surprised if not. But hopefully, if that's the case, and it looks like when you look at the numbers, it looked like he needed to change it. That part I can see from the outside looking in. That part I can see that it looks like he needed to change. You look like a change of scenery. Going to Oshawa, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. A big forward, they have a lot of big forwards. Look at guys like Rogowski. Look at the guys they have there. The import draft, they got big forwards. Kind of fits that core of what they have. You get an opportunity, and I think that's the main part about this trade. Fresh start and an opportunity, to get some energy in your career. And it's tough. Sometimes when you get older in the OHL, we see this every year. And I'm pulling for him. Like, honestly, like I hope he goes to Oshawa, lights it up, gets the opportunity. Because if you get that opportunity, and we see this all the time, and it's the best part about the OHL too. One of a million reasons why the OHL is the best league in the world. Because you see this all the time. And guys go to places, they need to get out of a spot. They're in a spot, and it's a struggle every single day. It sucks going to the rink. Maybe I don't agree with the coach. Maybe I'm not saying for this situation that's all the case, but sometimes you need a change. You get that change, you go somewhere, all of a sudden you're getting a pro contract at the end of the year, and it's like I was almost done playing hockey, and now all of a sudden I'm playing pro. That's the part about the OHL that's so cool. We see this every year, and I hope to heck there's an opportunity there. I really do. Listen to this. Like, I hope that Oshawa gives the opportunity. And from what I saw this weekend and the last weekend in person, other than Owen Griffin, no one's beating you offensively. So there should be a great opportunity here. And I'm very excited to see what can happen here. I really am. I hope that everyone in Oshawa supports them and put the phones down and support the team. But I'm excited to see what can happen here. I really am. I think that this is a good opportunity for the player. And that's the end all be all right now. The players are the quality on the ice. That's what makes everything hell. That's the ticker for every single fan. That's why we go to the games. Is the players. They're the OHL, and I'm excited to see what can happen here. I really am. I'm going to be following it closely.
Yeah. I was actually going to go right where you did. Other than Griffin, and I mean, not to Danford's fault, but he plays 40 minutes a night, 35 to 40 minutes a night. It's tough to be effective for all of those 40 minutes, but this kind of transitions into one of our main headlines as we start to see players come back, and the dominoes start to fall with trades. But when you look at Ben Danford, he's the guy in the back end. We knew that he was going to be back out of the I don't know, you could say the three-headed monster of Richie, Seneca, and Danford. There was a chance that how do I word this? There was a chance that 2 out of 3 came back because Richie was not coming back. Seneca was, okay, we'll see how it's going to go.
Danford's a year younger than Richie, too.
Yep, so exactly. So, Danford, I think, was the lock to come back. So, you start to have the conversation once the Luchankos of the world are back and the Martins. And that's not to say Brady Martin's going to get traded if he does. Okay. I don't think that'll happen. But for Ben Danford, seems like a guy that'll be somewhere else, at least once the trade deadline's done. Could be sooner, of course. But Colin, for Ben Danford, we had this conversation earlier on our Bulldog show on the Dogcast on the Bulldogs Audio Network about the rumors out there that the Bulldogs are after Danford and they're calling them every day, which is false. That is true.
Absolutely
that
false.
Is a flat out lie. They've checked in. Don't get me wrong. They're not stupid. They've got to do their homework on Ben Danford because he is one of those pieces that I'm going to assume will be made available if he's not available already. Just that is good management by the Oshawa Generals because they have zilch in the draft pick cupboard, Colin. I know you had that up earlier looking at that. So if you're a team looking at Ben Danford, what do you think a Ben Danford trade looks like? And by that, I mean, what goes to Oshawa for Ben Danford? And you know what, for him, it might be a welcome sight to go elsewhere so he's not playing 35 to 40 minutes and burning
100%.
himself out by December.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, for any general manager buying, no knock. We've already criticized Sudbury Wolves a lot, but if any offer comes and that's what the Oshawa Generals want of what Ottawa got for Henry Muse, you hang up the phone right now if you're a buying GM. That is no.
Yeah.
That's a different world and you pivot elsewhere. No. But the way I look at it is I'm looking at an offer like a Connor Smith type deal last year, right? Connor was probably the best player available at the deadline last year on the back end. BC, you can attest to this too if you can come on. I know you're muted, but Reece, I think Connor Smith had to be the best defenseman available. Definitely the most aggressive guy available last year at the deadline, the guy that was moved. But you look at their picks. Connor Smith, right? This was the deal last year with Brampton to Owen Sound to Brampton. A second, 2 seconds, a third, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, and a 10th.
Yeah.
I think that's a mutual deal. If Oshawa wants a player, I look at their team. They're a young team. They're going to pivot. I think then you into maybe a player, one less pick. But Andrew Gibson, right? Andrew Gibson last year, Sault Ste. Marie, Oshawa. Brady Smith goes to Sioux. Broadcasters everywhere really enjoyed that. And then Oshawa, 1 second, 1/3, 2/4, or 3/4, 3/4, 2 sixes, and a seventh. Okay, I'm down with that. Those are the 2 best guys available probably last year. Gibson and Connor Smith. Those 2 guys were definitely the most sought after. Do you want to bring up a third? Cam Allen, Guelph Storm with the London Knights. Noah Jenkins goes to Guelph. He's had a decent start to the season for the Storm. 2 seconds, 2/3, 2/4, and a fifth in a player. So you kind of know what you're looking for. I don't think you're going to be able to give up all those seconds, all those thirds. I think it'll be 2 seconds, 2/3. Yeah, I can see that, but it's not going to be 3 seconds. It's not going to be that outrageous. And if it is, you hang up the phone ASAP. Because that's what I gave Sudbury heck for. So if it gets to, then you hang up the phone and you pivot elsewhere because that's when you get leverage in the bargaining and in that negotiations in the trade talk. That's when you get leverage in that deal.
Yeah, and I mean, Colin, I'll ask you this question because for the people watching us on YouTube, we've got Oshawa's draft pick list up on our screen. For those listening, I'll kind of read things out for you. They have no second or third round pick for the next 4 drafts. They have no 4th round pick this year or next year. Well, 2026, 2027. No 5th rounder in 2026, 2027. And they've got, or no 5th in 2028 too. But then they've got a 6th in 26, no 6 in 2027, and then it looks a little better than the front half of the draft looks. But for the Oshawa Generals, you don't have the luxury of getting a Richie back so you can move him for all the picks.
Yeah.
You don't have the luxury, at least yet. I don't think it's going to happen. There's still a chance because he's not at 9 games yet. I don't think he isn't. Beckett Seneca with the Anaheim Ducks, maybe I'm going to lean towards no. Again, Anaheim is in no position to win a Stanley Cup. There's no reason to send him back to Oshawa. Plus, you drafted him 3rd overall. That looks really bad on you if he's not on the team within 2 years of him being drafted. So I've gone into that before. But does this make you hang on to Danford longer to see if you can get a bigger return?
100%.
Or is this, I have the picks on the table right now that I'd love to have back, so I'm doing it. You have to weigh that option if you're Roger Hunt. But for you, Colin, what would you lean towards? Would you want to hold out and keep them for as long as possible, see if you can get another pick? Or do you see what you like early and are like, nope, I want them. No. I want to guarantee I have those picks. We're doing it now.
I'm holding. World Junior bumps a thing. If he gets the invite to World Juniors, I'm sure he's going to get the invite. If he makes the World Junior team, I'm sure he's going to make the World Juniors. Well, there's a World Junior bump. Canada goes and wins a gold. There's an extra pick. Believe it or not, that's a thing. We know that firsthand from Jordan Donovan and Bulldogs house. That's a thing. So I'm holding on to him because right now, if you trade Ben Danford right now, and plus, there's only one team in the Eastern Conference that's kind of, okay, they're going to be in contention come another month from now because they have a 5-point cushion in first place. So, I mean, feathers in a cushion can go out real quick if you have one bad weekend. So I'm not going to jump to assumptions, but I don't think you do it now. It's October. There's only going to be November, but there's only one team in the East that knows who they are. You look at the West. 7 games ago, London never had a win. Now they win 7 in a row, and all of a sudden, hey, watch out, right? Like, I believe that you're gonna hold on to them, and in-house too. Watching the Oshawa Generals last 4 games, if they didn't have Ben Danford, what's the scores? Like, good luck.
Yeah.
Like,
big time.
If they didn't have Ben Danford on their team, I don't see them winning another 10 games.
Yeah.
That's like, and it's too early. It's too early to do that yet. You need the leadership there. He's a popular guy in the dressing room. He's your captain. You gotta right the ship here. We saw it last year in Owen Sound. Connor Smith. You gotta hold on to him until you can't. I don't think the month difference is gonna make a difference after seeing what Mason McTavish got when he was in the Olympics. Only basically 3 weeks of the regular season when he was traded to Hamilton from Peterborough at the time. And the Bulldogs will make that deal 7 days out of 7 again. But I just think you look at the standings right now in the OHL. You look at the West. You look at the East. The West is definitely getting more established than the East. But last week, if you would have told me Owen Sound was going to go that they were going to go winless, right, and fall out, I would have been like, well, maybe we could see it. But the goaltending is good there. Like, they have the best trio in the league.
Can only take you so far, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. It can only take you so far. Injuries happen. Scratches have to happen too. Situations in the lineup. It happens. And schedule gets harder. I mean, look at Sarnia. Sarnia played 2 with Windsor, 1 with Brantford, 1 with London, Owen Sound.
Yeah.
Like, look at that schedule. Like, I just think it's early to make those trades. It's early to make those commitments yet because teams got to know what they got, and you got to establish a culture for this year. And you never know, right? Like, Oshawa, they're 4-6 in their last 10. What happens if they go out and they win the next 2 this weekend?
Right.
All of a sudden, they're probably sitting pretty in 6th, 7th place in the Eastern Conference, and it's like, well, let's keep riding it out, right? Like, I just think that it's early yet. It's a long year. You don't want to be out of it in November. You don't want to be out of it in November. You don't want to be like the Chicago White Sox of baseball or the Toronto Maple Leafs of the NHL and be out of it in November. Congratulations to the Buffalo Sabres, by the way, for the split. I wish they would have won the second one, but flukes happen. Nice. Flukes happen.
Well, I mean, speaking of the Leafs, like with Danford playing in the GTA for a junior and being a Leafs pick, the business side of things, that gets you an extra 100 tickets sold, at least. You know, the Leafs aspect of it, you know,
Does it in Oshawa,
family
though?
of 4 not paying to go see a Leafs game because they go bankrupt. We're going to Oshawa to see a first rounder for the Leafs a couple of years ago. So there's that part of it as well. And I didn't think we'd be having this conversation the way Sudbury started, but the Generals are the first team in the Eastern Conference to lose 10 games. They are currently in 9th place, as you can see in the standings. Like we didn't expect that at all. Being a 5-10 team, the Wolves are 4-8. I'm lost. Where the heck did it go?
4-8-1.
Yeah, 4-8-1. Yeah, stupid website had crunched the numbers, but but yeah, it's who would have thought we would have said that? So yeah, it's definitely early for sure. But I'm sure those calls are there, just not every day. So, and I mean, speaking of calls, I feel for the Guelph Storm and their phone bill for whoever has to pay that, because Jett Luchanko. On Monday, it was announced that he had been returned to the Ontario Hockey League from the Philadelphia Flyers, and a lot of people are saying that it's Brantford the front runner. He's going to Brantford. Luchanko to Brantford. Get it done.
And last year,
there's some stuff to be done. I mean, there were the rumors last year as well, like you said, Colin. But Jett Luchanko, and we had this conversation last week when we were talking about make a decision, but for Luchanko. And for the Storm, I don't know necessarily think that you have to do it right away. I think he gets dealt before the deadline, like well in advance. Like I think we could see something in the next 3 weeks, unless the Storm are like, no, we're going to keep him and we're going to get fans in seats. Not that Guelph Storm have had an issue with that. They've actually been really good on filling that building over the last 2-3 seasons. But there's also that factor. People are going to come see the Guelph Storm just for Jett Luchanko. So you have to weigh that option as well. So what do you think on Jett Luchanko, Colin? Is it immediate? Is it within 4 weeks? Is it the deadline? What do you think?
It's either the week before, like guys go to World Juniors, like end of November, or it's deadline day, July 10th or January 10th. Oh my gosh, January 10th. I think that you have to let him play here. I think the best word of advice for Jett Luchanko is, and you see this all the time when guys get sent back, it can be a struggle sometimes. And I think the best advice for Jett Luchanko would be from the Guelph Storm would be go play your game. Go play your game, and what will be. It'll work out the way it'll all work out. You're going to have control of the situation. You have your trade clause. We're going to respect where you want to go. You're going to get the chance to pick where you're going to want to go. We're going to give you options, but right now for us, the next month, you got to play. You got to play for us. You got to be the example. You got to set the standard for us. This is our situation. Come back, play your game, go to the World Juniors, and then the rest will work its way out. What happens. And I think that's kind of the way you got to approach the situation, because if you're thinking about getting traded every single day, and this is one thing though, that Guelph, behind closed doors, Guelph knows this situation better than anybody, obviously. And
for sure,
Jett Luchanko knows where he's playing hockey for the right now. He knows. I expect him to be in Guelph, or I think they play in Erie on Thursday night. Go there, play your game.
So, yeah.
And you imagine that crowd in Pennsylvania. Wonder how many Flyer fans are in Erie. But because it feels like it's a Penguin area. But anyway,
yeah, a little bit closer, a lot closer, I should say.
Yeah, but I think with Jett, you just got to go there, play your game, focus on playing for the Guelph Storm, leader, set the standard for the younger players, take them under your wing, and then what'll happen will happen. But I think the writing's on the wall. Guelph Storm, you look where they are in the standings, right? They're in 8th place. They're not going to be better than London this season. They're not going to be better than Owen Sound and them, maybe, if the Jett takes off, right? Like, they might be pretty good. Like, that might be a little bit of a good matchup to watch, but they're not better than Kitchener. They're better than Erie, but like that's kind of the situation right there. So maybe they get to 6th place in the West, but writing's on the wall for that, and it'll happen when it happens.
And you also get the factor of the Memorial Cup announcement coming in, I think it's mid to late November, about who will win that bid between Kitchener and Guelph. Does that play a factor of when Luchanko goes? I'm not so sure, because I don't think you plan to host a Memorial Cup with Jett Luchanko in your lineup next year. So it probably doesn't, but it's just interesting to think about that timeline's coming up soon, and that deadline for the announcement's coming up soon.
Well, if they want to be good, if they even if they don't get the Mem Cup and they finish second place in the bidding, even if that happens, if they're showing interest in the Mem Cup, obviously it takes the pressure off of like going for it next year if you want to. But
right,
the way it lines up in their 4-year cycle, it kind of makes sense for Guelph to go for it next year. Like either way, I would make that move. Give you the opportunity to go for it next year. They already traded a couple of picks through Patrick Babin. Yeah, Patrick Babin's not really a proven player in the Ontario Hockey League, but for next year, it could be a really good pick for them. That could be a really good pickup for Guelph looking back at it for just 2 picks. So those are the deals that you have to make to take the chance for next year. Either way, get the Mem Cup or don't get the Mem Cup. If you're going to go for it, you got to go all in and set yourself up now to get that chance over the summer to make those ads with the picks that you receive, or get young talent and get them in the system an extra few months earlier than they would for next season. It sucks talking about next year already, but that's the way of the business now. That's the way of the business, right? Like that's hockey.
Yeah. Speaking of guys getting sent back from the NHL that were just sitting on their butts doing nothing, Brady Martin back from Nashville to the Sioux Greyhounds. I think that happened like hours after we released the show, or even just the next day.
Yeah.
But Brady Martin to Sault Ste. Marie. Yeah, right.
Tuesday.
Yeah, good timing, Nashville. Thanks. But effect. So and again, it was inevitable. It was going to happen eventually. It was just a matter of how much they wanted him to sit in a press box, not playing hockey. So with Brady, and they've got a plan. I'm not knocking the Nashville Predators. They obviously have a plan for him. I don't know what sitting in a press box teaches a man except how to play in the NHL, potentially from above. I don't know. But Brady Martin, captain of the Sioux Greyhounds as well. Let's start with the jerseys, Colin, because this is really bothering me. I'm not a fan of the way this looks with the letters. And to be honest with you, even with Oshawa on the weekend, looking at their jerseys and where their letters were because of where the jersey ad was, I get it. You got to make money. I'm not stupid. I know how the business world works. To be fair, it looks like tape. When I first saw the photo, I'm like, is that tape? Is that a taped C? Yeah. Is that a taped A? Like it looks like the Flint Firebirds pressed on numbers.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like to me at first.
To the left of Martin,
exactly.
In the picture for those watching on YouTube. I agree with you. I'm a believer that if you're the captain of a team, the C has to be front and center. It's got to be there. It's got to be bold. You're the captain. Everyone knows who you are. It's got to be out there. That's pride. It's tradition. That's the way your team should be. That's how it should be showcased. But it's out there. But it's kind of weird. And it's almost the C's almost on the shoulder with the shoulder pads on, like the equipment on. It'll be like on the shoulder. That'll be interesting where it is.
Well, and we said it about the Bulldogs ones too. Like, I'm not even a fan where the C is on Jake O'Brien's jersey. Like, I don't know. It's kind of tucked under his armpit a little bit. Again, jersey ad. You're right. You got to make money. I get it. I don't know.
But no, 100%.
Maybe I'm old school. Maybe I like it a certain way. But let's talk about the player. Let's get away from the jerseys. But for Brady Martin, again, I don't think we're going to talk about him being moved from the Sioux Greyhounds. That's not what this conversation is going to be about. I'm just more intrigued of what he does to this lineup immediately. And I expect an immediate impact. I don't think there will be a matter of him, give him a week to get back in a regular form. Nah, he'll be in regular form. He'll be fine.
The way he plays, he's engaging.
Yeah, exactly. So for the Sioux Greyhounds, I don't necessarily put them as contenders in the Western Conference now. But are they a team where you get a couple of pieces, maybe you win a round? Do you stay put? Like, I'm curious your thoughts on the Sioux Greyhounds and what they do now that Martin's back and they can fully kind of understand what their team is, what they have to add, maybe what they have to subtract, like that. So that sort of situation.
No, I expect, I like where Sioux is right now. You look where they are in the standings. They're in a good spot to start the year. I think it's a medium build. I don't know. Like, they have a chance. Obviously, it's November. I don't like talking about where they are. Like, where they are. But they're in 5th place in the standings right now. I think are you at that timing similar to what, like, possibly what Niagara could do in the Eastern Conference, where you build to go second second round, win a round, be in a good round in the first round, and then see what happens. The rest is house money after you win a round. Like, that's kind of what it feels like for Soo. But you get Brady Martin back. That's a big one. Goaltending is a thing there, right? Like, you'll see the good game from Miller, then you'll see the tough bounce like that. Not to bring those up, but though, like, it's gonna happen. But I just think that where Soo is right now, they're in the 5 spot, tied for 4th. I think, like, you never know. Nothing's off the table. Let's wait and see. We just got our captain back. It's only been a week. Here we go. We might go on a run here, and then all of a sudden you're big buyers, right? They have the picks to do so. So if they want to buy, they have the picks to do so. But next year would be a sell year. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean he'll immediately help the power play that's operating just under 12% at 11.9.
Big time.
That is second worst in the Western Conference. The only team with the worst power play, the Erie Otters, at 9.1, which is a big explanation and reasoning why they're in 10th place right now. So you get a nice boost there. If they play him on the PK, that should help as well. Again, we'll see how they decide to do it. I'm sure Martin would fully do that if it helps his team, give his team a better chance to win.
He'll be on the PK. Again, he's captain.
We'll see. Yeah, so
he'll be on the PK.
So you should see improvements there. But yeah, it's not. Let's see. I'm kind of with you on that. If they could win a round and play with house money, then that's probably what we're going to see.
Yeah.
So
force Windsor's hand.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and we also got breaking news. BC in the chat.
Good.
Look at you go. Emil Hemming back to the Barrie Colts.
And that's right on, because we have a question about that.
We do. And Colin Ward, you might as well go for it. Read it off.
Yeah, we got the Danford out of the way, but we have one here about one of the biggest surprises for someone as being Barrie in their performance. They look solid, but obviously look where they are in the standings. On paper, I mean, talked about it before. Brad Gardner, no way. You talk about Cole Beaudoin. You talk about Kayshawn Aitchison. Now Emil Hemming. You look at those opportunities, right? You look at the opportunities there. What do you think? Like, Hemming's there.
Does this make it a second year in a row? Maybe not all in, because a lot of their young talent's in North Bay from last year. But
on paper, they're better than Niagara in their division.
I was going to say, does that give Niagara competition now for the division? Because, again, for me, part of my reasoning for picking Niagara was I think the Central Division is going to suck. And that's me being very, very honest. I thought the Central Division was going to suck coming into this year. I thought Niagara had that on lock if they could be smart and have a clean season on and off the ice. But Emil Hemming changes things in the Central Division. And you know what? It's the end of October, early November. So this is going to be interesting. I think it's now a 2-horse race in the Central Division, not one.
I don't want to count out North
Barrie
Bay
Colts
either.
are going to make it tough. I
respect Ryan Houlihan and their staff, McIver.
Yeah,
I think.
So I think this shakes up the Central Division in the Eastern Conference quite a bit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Barrie, you look at their core 5 that they got there, right? Aitchison, Gardner, Beaudoin, now Hemming. Like, decent goaltending there. I mean, like, you never know. Like, Acidorian has 10 points in 14 games.
Yeah.
For Barrie. Like, maybe almost the best hockey he's played. Like,
well, Calvin Crombie, Barrie Colt, we saw what he brings to the table. He's not going to score 50 goals, but he could be good for 15 to 20. Like, kill penalties. He's a grinder. Like, that's a good spot for a third or fourth liner. So,
man, they have a power play now, right? You go Hemming, Gardner, Beaudoin, Aitchison, add a young guy with it.
Yeah.
Like,
and this is after a conversation, Colin, we had about Aitchison getting traded. This has to change the way Barrie looks at their season in terms of selling. Now, could they still get rid of guys to recoup some picks? Sure. But I don't necessarily means that's a huge drop-off anymore for the Barrie Colts. Maybe they're a little bit more conservative with Aitchison, because I would say there's a really good shot he's back next year. So maybe that's a move you now make next year, not this year.
100%. 100%. Like, Aitchison has term. That's definitely appealing for a team if they sell, but getting Hemming back has to get you excited in the front office. You got to give this build a chance. You have to give this a chance, especially where the division's at, with the Eastern Conferences. You got to give it an opportunity, right? If you can make it to a conference final, would you take it? If you're Barry right now, I would say so. And honestly, looking at it, there's an opportunity there. You finish second, you have home ice to the conference till the conference final. Like,
good point.
And obviously, there's a lot to go yet. Like, there's a lot left yet. And I mean, you want to talk about excitement tomorrow night, Brantford Barrie.
Yeah.
Right. Like, if Hemming's in the lineup, you want to talk about excitement if it's a return. Wow. Like, that's a fun one. All eyes will be glued on that one. So those are the games that for Barrie, it's going to be interesting to see what they are. But I like their goaltending. I like their forwards up front now. I mean, if you could have a top line, if you could have Gardner, Beaudoin, and Hemming, like, obviously you have two centers there, but you can balance it out even. Like, I'm excited to see what can happen here. I think their power play could take off. That's one thing that kind of has to get going for them. 23.1%. Their penalty kill, unlike Barrie, obviously new bench boss there, but 66.7% isn't Barrie-esque that we're used to.
Right.
Obviously, there's guys like Bo Gelsman last year, and their skating ability to score shorthanded as well is a big loss. But Barrie, they're top heavy, I guess I could say. They have a really good top line. Then they need those secondary guys to step up here. If they step up, Barrie's in a good spot to win that division, without a doubt. I mean, they have the draft picks. Like, it's not horrible. They have no thirds this year, but they have a second. They have 3 seconds over the next 4 drafts. So you can acquire somebody, but then you're done for a long time. Yeah. But you have a tough decision to make. I think that's the beauty of it, right? We saw the first 14 games for Barrie. You're 4-7-3. What are the next 15 games to game 30 like? Right, next 16 games, I guess. What are those like? They'll get to game 30. Where are they? And if they're in a better spot, then we have an idea of where they're at. But you got to be excited if you're a Barrie Colts fan. The potential here, you can't miss. You're on the middle. You want to talk about the definition of middle and having a tough decision. On paper, the Barrie Colts have the toughest decision in the Eastern Conference right now at the deadline. And I know we're a long ways away, but that's a tough decision to make because getting Hemming back might change everything. Plus,
this probably
the NCAA market. It's flip season, right? You're gonna have free agents coming back. Like, you're gonna have guys that aren't gonna be able to make school, and they're gonna be coming back. What comes available there, right? So that's one thing too. What happens in that situation? There's a lot that's gonna happen in the hockey universe. In the Barrie Colts, if they could sign a free agent out of the NCAA, there you go. Like, or out of the USHL.
Yeah,
that's big. That's big. Like,
yeah. I would for sure definitely say it delays their decision. Like, we might not see Barrie active until the deadline now instead of before. You know, I think for them, it puts them in a situation to, and sort of similar to what the Eastern, some teams didn't think so, but sort of similar situation to what a lot of the Eastern Conference teams were in last year. It's, you wait and find out to see if you're buying for a division title or a Bobby Orr trophy, not an OHL championship. Because last year, Eastern Conference teams bought for a Bobby Orr. Nobody was beating London. That was pretty evident. You were making trades to win a Bobby Orr trophy. You know, the Barrie Colts were not beating London last year if they made it to the finals. We saw Oshawa. They didn't beat London if they were making it. Sudbury wasn't beating London. Brampton wasn't beating London. And Kingston wasn't beating London. All these teams, Brantford wasn't beating London.
That was the consensus too.
Some of these teams bought to lose to London in the finals, but you get to raise a Bobby Orr trophy banner to the rafters. That's about it. So I think for Barrie, you delay the process to what you're going to do. You still have calls, still do your due diligence, of course.
100%.
But you decide, let's say it's the Bulldogs. Are we buying to make it to the Eastern Conference Championship again to sell more tickets? Are we buying to win a Central Division? Or are we buying to win a Bobby Orr and we're going to get destroyed in the OHL Championship by the Western Conference? You know, you got to make that decision. And I think for the Barrie, like I said, for the Barrie Colts, this delays that a little bit. They're going to be, if he's in the lineup Wednesday, I mean, watch out. Could loss number 1 in regulation be coming for the Bulldogs? Well, things just got a lot tougher if Hemming's in the lineup on Wednesday, TD Civic Center.
Yeah, no, absolutely agreed. I mean, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun to see having come onto the scene. It kind of changes everything. Get a big-time player.
Yeah, absolutely. So, James Boyd got the promotion from the Ottawa 67s to the Vice President of Hockey Operations for the Ontario Hockey League. And his residence was in Toronto. This makes quite a bit of sense geographically. Yeah. I saw him in quite a few buildings that was not Ottawa. Now, I've never been to Ottawa, both the city and the arena. But it sounds like he was at a lot of other arenas as well as Ottawa. So congratulations to James on this. We had a fun conversation, albeit brief, but a fun few conversations with James Boyd, as well as Brian Smiley, the beat writer for the Brantford Bulldogs. During the trade deadline, we saw him on the phone the entire time. We're like, okay, well, we know what that call's probably
last
about.
Season.
Not who, but what. Last season, I met him for the first time in Niagara, I believe it was, early last season or 2 seasons ago. Brief chat, probably has no clue who I am, which is fine. I'm not important. He is. So great guy to chat with, albeit for a few minutes. But this is cool to get James Boyd to be the VP of Hockey Operations. Definitely deserves this title.
Yeah, great person. Always got the time of day from James Boyd. Great person. Always nice to talk trade deadline last year with him too. That was cool. Yep. Great experience. But no, definitely well deserved. And I mean, the OHL getting bigger. So
yeah,
it's cool.
Love it.
Butt ends are hockey stick grips, specifically for the top of the stick, designed to replace traditional clock tape. They're made of rubber and offer a more consistent and comfortable grip than tape, aiming to improve performance and reduce slippage. Butt ends are an alternative to regular stick tape that provide enhanced grip and comfort, are durable, reusable, and consistent with the ability to reduce vibration. The grips are available in a variety of styles, designs, colors, and even have options for specific player names. At Butt Ends, they are committed to providing the world's highest quality stick grips and continue to bring new technology and ideas with each new grip design, regardless of sport. Alex Petrangelo, Akil Thomas, Max Domi, Aiden Hill, and Tim Stutzla are just a name of few who have proudly used Butt Ends for peak performance at the NHL level. Check them out at buttendswithaz.com and use our referral code buttends.com/discount/armchairgm to get 10% off your order as part of our community. Engineered for greatness and performance. Butt Ends, the #1 grip in hockey.
Fourth Wall is the official merchandise supplier of the Armchair GM Sports Network. Our user-friendly site is print to order with no minimum items or inventory needed, shipped right to your doorstep safely and efficiently from the North American warehouse. All of our logos are available to supporters, listeners, and viewers can have the best variety available to them for their swag preferences. All items are priced as low as possible, allowing everybody who wants to support our business with the opportunity to do so, receiving quality and comfortable products in return. Shop today at fourthwall.com with a direct link to our Armchair merch store in the description of all episodes and in the bio of all of our social media accounts. Become an Armchair GM today with Fourth Wall.
You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
Let's go to the World Juniors next, Wardy. Kitchener and London are going to host pre-tournament games before the World Juniors that are happening in Minnesota. Of course, the U.S. hosting the World Juniors this year. And it's not a Latvia situation. It's not Kazakhstan. It's Sweden. Canada and Sweden. Kitchener Memorial Auditorium, Canada Life Place.
That's unreal.
Again, it's pre-tournament. Read into it however you want. It's going to be sold out. I can guarantee that right now for
hopefully
a pre-tournament
tickets
game.
are
It's going to be sold out. That'd be nice. For sure.
I don't know.
Yeah,
London,
that'd be nice.
Last week I was ready to come on here and give a shot to the Knights. $55 walk-up tickets is a little aggressive, but hey, they sold them. They sold them.
Wow. I mean, good for them.
And they sold it.
So I'll ask you this, Colin, because you brought this up, so I got to give you credit for it. Minneapolis is not close to London or Kitchener. Is this to see if this can be a future World Junior spot? because we talked about what this tournament is like in junior markets and not in.
We saw Halifax.
I'm paying $50,000 for lower bowl seats, but not watching the game. Toronto, or less expensive Montreal, but still an NHL market. Is this an audition to bring the World Juniors to 2 junior markets in southwestern Ontario?
I think we got to take this to the polls. Maybe, obviously we're recording right now, so I'll get it out after the show. Maybe we'll say this, London Kitchener hosting pre-tournament games is an audition for possibly hosting this event someday. My first thought.
You'd want it close to Minnesota. Like, much like the tournament was in Buffalo, you're playing games at Meridian Center.
Yeah, and to be fair, when they played in when they had their camp in Red Deer before Calgary, the tournament wasn't the tournament. Oh no, I guess that was in Oakville. The tournament was in Europe last. So when it was in Red Deer, their camp, they played in Edmonton, Calgary. So yeah, I guess I think that camp being in Niagara and not in Winnipeg area, I guess, but I guess that makes that, but Kitchener and London, it could be a favor of obviously Mark and Dale Hart of this staff this year. It's their year.
Course.
They're in the brass. Did they do the Kitchener Rangers a favor as well? But I think automatic. This could be if it goes and shows out. If this goes and sells out and it's a great show, it's a great spectacle for a preseason game. 100%. This is a great audition. This is great for the IIHF to say, hey, the 2 best markets in the OHL, and it's not even close. These are the 2 meccas of the OHL.
Yeah. Agreed.
No ands if buts about it. Kitchener, London. You watch a game at the Yacht or Canada Life Place. You're going to the game. You're watching that game, and I think that's why. I think that this is a great opportunity. Goes and sells out in London. If it goes and sells out in Kitchener, they got a really good game for a pre-tournament with Sweden. Sweden's going to be up there. 100%. I 100% I agree. We'll take this to the polls. We will take this to the polls as well, but I 100% think that without a doubt, this has to rub off. This has to be a great situation for these 2 cities to have a chance. And hey, Kitchener with the renovations they did to the Yacht.
Yep, exactly.
Mem Cup, they're putting for it. Why not? Why not put a bid in with the London Knights? The Kitchener Rangers and the London Knights come together. The 2 cities, who always get along so well, are going to have a chance to host a World Junior together. Why not? Why not? Like, it can't, ever since the one in Halifax and Moncton, can never go back to an NHL barn. Even Ottawa last year, the ticket pricing in Ottawa was insane.
Yeah.
Wasn't
and
it
I've never been to Ottawa. Scotiabank, is it still
Yacht Club?
It's Canadian Tire Center. Sorry, I almost called it Scotiabank Place. Holy crap.
I was talking about Scotiabank Arena. I heard you bring up Scotiabank, and I said it's a yacht club. Any chance I get, it is.
But, on TV, Canadian Tire Center looks nice. I mean, you have a bunch of car dealerships around it. That's kind of boring. TD Place, I've heard that it has a lot of flaws, that it's not up to par, but however, it's being renovated down the road, both the football stadium and the hockey arena. But I don't know. It just, for whatever reason, I still remember the Jordan Eberle goal, but it felt 10 times better back then than it did last year. And I don't know why. Maybe because I was a kid and I really didn't know too much about, the game of hockey in general. I never played hockey growing up until I got into late elementary school. But I just, maybe from a different perspective, having a position in the Ontario Hockey League in previous years, covering the Bulldogs, covering the OHL for the last number of the years, maybe that's it. But you're right. Halifax and Moncton kind of, I hope it made the double IHF look like, take a step back and be like, we've got something here. And we've had this conversation before. There's something to be said about having it in arenas that only hold 7,000 or hold 9,000, like in London, right? I think if you're looking at 2 buildings to have it, one for sure will be in London, but Kitchener and Windsor are probably your secondary options to have the tournament in. And Kitchener, at the odd, I mean, no better setting than that. Windsor is a nice third choice, just because it is newer than the odd. Obviously, a lot of places are newer than the odd, but it just, yeah, that would be awesome. It would be awesome. And I mean, even in Edmonton, like at Rogers Arena, nice building. Let's keep the NHL there.
Yeah.
Like let's keep it separate. There are junior rinks out west that would die for a tournament like this. Like, you imagine Regina and Saskatoon having a World Junior Championship.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Which I'm pretty sure it's already happened before. But you go back there, that'd be awesome. Like, that would be so cool. And I mean, I went to the arena in Halifax when I went out east in June. They were getting ready for a Jan Arden concert, so that's a little more mellow than a World Junior Championship. But like, that building, like it's old. They're trying to renovate it, make it look a little bit nicer, up to par. But I could only imagine what it was like in that building when Connor Bedard was there and Team Canada was lighting it up. There's really no better setting, and the odd in Canada Life Place. If we could have a World Junior tournament there. Yeah, all right. Let's go. Let's do it.
100%. 100% agreed.
And you can see it up on YouTube for the viewers watching us on the Armchair GM Sports Network. The Gale Center in Niagara Falls will host Canada's camp. Again, St. Paul and Minneapolis, Minnesota will have the World Juniors, but at the Gale Center in Niagara Falls is where you can watch the camp. And I know they've had it in Niagara before. It was at the Meridian Center, like I said, when the tournament was in Buffalo. So that's cool. That's awesome to be in our own backyard. I hope I can make it there to see a couple of practices. So see a couple of skates. As a ton of OHL talent will be a part of that. So can't wait. Can't wait to get it started, because that's the most wonderful time of the year, not just because of Christmas, but 2-week World Junior Hockey Tournament. And then the OHL trade deadline, which makes it awesome directly after. But couple things to get to before we wrap up the show, and that starts with the Players of the Week from the Ontario Hockey League, which were announced on Monday. And that starts with the OHL Player of the Week, Kieran Walton. 2 games for him. He had 3 goals and 5 assists for a total of 8 points, and was also a +2 for the Sudbury Wolves. Definitely him. Glad they're back. Glad he's back.
Sudbury's getting hot. They might be on my power ranking.
Yeah, absolutely. So, OHL goaltender of the week, Ryerson Leenders. Couple of games for him. It was a 3-3 for the Bulldogs. David Egorov played the second one, but Leenders got both road starts. One in Sarnia and one in Oshawa. He won both of them. Gave up 1 goal in each game. .966 save percentage, and he made a total of 56 saves. And a couple of dominating performances, both against the Sarnia Sting and dominating against the Oshawa Generals on Sunday. Rookie of the week, again, Jaakko Weisick.
He's a player.
Love to see it. Yeah.
Well, you want to know someone who could benefit about playing with Jett Luchanko, and why they shouldn't trade Jett Luchanko till at least December? You imagine? 16 years old, your rookie season, you get to play with a guy that's going to be in the NHL.
Not bad, eh?
Good opportunity for golf.
Yeah. I don't know why I said again, because this is the first time winning it. I'm stupid. But Weisick had himself one heck of a week. 2 games, 1 goal, and 3 assists for a total of 4 points. And then have we decided on go or goal yet? Probably go, eh? The go HL.
I always say go.
Yeah,
I've said Geo for the last couple months since the summer.
Yeah, fair point. It's Gensen Geldart from the Chatham Maroons, defending Sutherland Cup champions, I should add. 2 games, he had 4 points, 3 goals, and an assist for the Chatham Maroons. And now it's our favorite part of the show, Colin. And not this week. We had a few good points of this week. But the power rankings around the Ontario Hockey League. For those watching, it's going to be up on your screen. For those listening, here are the top 16. Sudbury Wolves, as you mentioned, Colin, move up 1 spot to number 16. Saginaw Spirit up 2 spots to number 15. Generals, after dropping a couple of the Bulldogs, drop 3 to number 14. Colts drop 1 to number 13. Battalion drop 2 to number 12. Guelph Storm up 4 spots to number 11. Firebirds up 3 spots to number 10. 67's down 2 spots to number 9. Kingston Frontenacs down 2 spots to number 8. Sioux Greyhounds down 3 to number 7. Owen Sound down 3 to number 6. And all of those teams dropped because of the next 3. London Knights up 3 to number 5. Niagara Ice Dogs up 5 to number 4 after they swept their 3-3. A couple against Brampton and 1 against Kingston. Kitchener Rangers up 2 spots to number 3. The only 2 teams that did not move spots out of all 16, that is the Brantford Bulldogs and Windsor Spitfires. Brantford still number 1. Windsor number 2. Colin Ward, you can kick things off. Who is team number 5 this week for you?
5 for me. OHL, I'm sorry. But
that's not a good start to your rankings.
7 in a row, the London Knights. Number 5.
Well, to be fair, I had them 4 last week. So should I be sorry too?
No, I just went back to it for the first time. They made my power rankings, London. So
fair enough.
That's why I wanted to apologize in advance because usually once they're there, they're there.
They're there.
So I mean, hey, you control your own destiny. That's the beauty with the power rankings.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 5 for me, the Niagara Ice Dogs. They move into the top 5 for me. A couple against Brampton. That's 2 big divisional games. When you're into the latter half of the season, you're fighting for the division. Those early season wins against your division rivals play pretty big, and they're going to play Brampton again on Friday. I think that one's in Niagara. Yeah, Halloween game in Niagara. Wow. Their parade during one of the intermissions, a costume parade. So that's something I don't miss about Niagara. It was cool, but oh well. Get the kids out. Should be fun. They do so they bring kids out onto the ice. I don't know if they still do carpets. BC, you could chime in on this, but they used to put carpets all up the ice. They would go from where the visitors enter the ice. No, intermission.
Oh. Okay.
So they would go from where the visitors enter the ice. So first intermission, they go along the boards. Thanks, BC. But they used to put the carpet out towards center, and then they would stretch it all across the red line to the penalty box, and then they would exit the rink there. So they do a costume parade for the kids. So but I mean, they play Brampton 3 times in a week.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, but Niagara number 5 for me.
All right. Well, I hope when they go around there, they say trick or treat, and they get some 4s, because 4th on my ranking is the Niagara Ice Dogs. They swept a 3-3, which was once the impossible for the Ice Dogs is now possibly their reality. 4 for me, the Niagara Ice Dogs. I mean that with the utmost respect to the Ice Dogs. I know we've had our run-ins, we've had our past. Niagara, you know my thoughts on trading your captain. That's not going to change. I'm always going to go.
We're coming up on that time too.
Yeah, I'm always going to go to bat. He's my guy. GB. Always going to. Everyone knows that. It listens to the show. But number 4 to me, Niagara Ice Dogs. They swept a 3-3. And when you do that, you deserve it. So 4 for me, the Niagara Ice Dogs. Keep the train moving.
Number 4 is going to remain the London Knights. They're still on a roll, but I've got 3 teams that I think are better. So London Knights definitely probably in my power rankings the rest of the year, and it started a week earlier than you anyways. So they're number 4. Who's number 3 for you?
3 for me, the Kitchener Rangers. 6-2-2, their last 10. They're that 3rd spot. They are the 3rd team that are, you could say the 2nd team, but they're the 1st team that's below the tier of Windsor Brantford.
Okay.
They're the 1st team that you think of. Okay. Windsor, Brantford, who's next? Kitchener. Me, Kitchener's 3.
Yep. Yeah, same for me. Exact reasoning, right? You've got that top tier of Brantford and Windsor, and then below it, it's the Kitchener Rangers. So solid team. They've been rolling of late. 23.2% on the power play. You'd like to see that penalty kill get a little bit higher, 75% right now, but they're still number 3. Number 2, Colin.
2 for me, the Windsor Spitfires. Tough loss to Saginaw, but Saginaw I think is a hungry team. I think Saginaw is a team to watch out for. You know, they're kind of in that mid spot, right? But I think that they're a team that you got to watch out for, and they can beat any given night in Saginaw. So I'm going to go with the Windsor Spitfires. Tough loss to them, but Windsor has shown when they are on, they're a force to be reckoned with. So that's why to me the 2 spot is the Windsor Spitfires.
Yeah, for me as well. Similar to the OHL power rankings that were posted on Monday, the Windsor Spitfires, hard to argue with 32.8% on the power play and 86.2% on the penalty kill. It's just one team hasn't lost in regulation, and that's the only reason the Windsor Spitfires are number 2. So I think that's pretty obvious for number 1. Colin, you have the honors to go through that one.
Brantford Bulldogs. This is the best start to a power play that they've had in the last 3-4 seasons. But Brantford number 1. They haven't lost in regulation. And honestly, you look at their 2 losses. One was in a shootout, and one was blowing a 3-4 goal lead with nobody on the first night of the season. So you look at their 2 losses, and it's like, well, you can see it going either way. So that's one thing to look at too for the Bulldogs. But they've been really good. So Brantford's 1.
Yeah. I don't need to go through anything else. You pretty well highlighted it. Which, by the way, I wanted to get to something because we forgot about it from an account on Twitter that reached out to us that we posted. The Windsor Spitfires, the account All Spitties. Just wanted to shout that one out because it came in a couple hours before we were recording this show, so I just want to get to it before we wrap it up. But they go on to say, I think the biggest surprise for me is Barrie and their performance, which we kind of went through. Looking pretty darn solid of a team before the season, just falling apart. And then he goes, as for my boys, the Spits, there's no easy, I'm going to assume, game for them against anyone. Think that a mental reset is needed, but they're still good. The Spitfires will be okay. They'll be fine. They played a lot of games. Like, holy crap, 16 games. A lot of other teams are hovering around the 13, some at 14, some at 15. But Spitfires have played the most games so far, so expect some lighter weekends ahead than most teams. But
and that'll be beneficial.
Yeah, but you're right. I think it's not a bad idea. They could use a light weekend, I think. But those divisional matchups, like we talk about those 2 Sarnia games pretty often, Colin. The fact that the Sting took 3 out of 4 points from the Spitfires, it's a West Division matchup. You expect that from Sarnia to take it to Windsor and be hard to play against. Like he's absolutely right. The Western Conference is different than the East. There are no easy games in the Western Conference. It's very hard physical. You're absolutely right.
And you know what? For Windsor's standpoint, the Brantford Bulldogs went in there Friday night and looked horrible. So
yeah.
Sarnia, you got to tip your cap to your opponent sometimes too. And I mean, that is the case here in this situation. But Sarnia is playing the best hockey they've played in the Allen Latang system in some time. They're scary. I don't like playing them. I don't think they'd be a fun team to play against. They have a lot of guys that are the same. They have their guys up front that are skilled guys for sure, but they have a lot of guys that are similar, and they battle. They battle and they play to an identity, and it's a hard identity to play against. So that's one thing about playing Sarnia. And plus, they're getting good goaltending right now, which is huge. And I just think for Windsor's standpoint, you get some time off. That's going to help for sure. And it's early. I know they played 16 games. It's early on in the season, right? That's the one thing about getting guys back. And that's why I say, hey, if I'm a team that's going to trade now, it makes no sense to you. You don't even know what your team is yet. So you get together as a team, and then you go add somebody and mix everything up again. So that's why I think if I'm the Windsor Spitfires, everyone's back now. Guys are coming back from NHL camp. They're back. You're set into the system. They know the system from prior years. It takes some time. You look on paper, they are what they are. They're a really good team. They're on paper, they're the best team in the Western Conference. And that's why I think at the end of the day, if you're Windsor, I mean, it's early on in the year. It's one weekend. You go 2-0 this weekend. This past weekend means nothing. So, and you can see that happening easily for Windsor. So it's exciting. It's going to be an exciting year in Windsor. So I'd stay patient, stay calm, and it'll all work out for the Windsor Spitfires. They're going to be a fun team. That's the thing. That's the thing about fans, right? When you're consuming, you have teams that you have solid years. You get excited, right? And then all of a sudden expectations, one weekend doesn't go to your expectations, and then year's over. But it should be they'll be all right in Windsor, and it should be a fun year at the WFCU Center for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, to the fact that you got a shutout from Michael Newlove against Ottawa, a team that had a really hot start to the season, you defeat the 67s 2-0 on home ice at the WFCU Center, and you get a shutout from your backup goaltender. That's really promising as well. The fact that you don't have to ride Costanzo for 55 games, 50 games, whatever the case might be. So I thought that was big for the Spitfires. But shout out to all Spitties for that one. I follow the account. I love it. I've had, most of my life lived in Windsor. Missed the barn. Always loved going to the WFCU Center. So you can see the Taylor Hall and Will Cooley bobbleheads over my left shoulder. So the Spitfires are awesome. I also have a signed Windsor puck that I have no idea who signed it. I got to look up number 17s in the past for the Spitfires. I have yet to do that, so that's my own fault. But 17s in the past, I've got that on a Windsor Spitfire puck. So
nice.
Thanks for the comment as always. Love it. Sports teams power rankings. Yes.
So I would
put the last team and the second last team and the first team. But second
I would put
team.
them all last. Yeah, I would put them all last. Yeah, those are my last. Yeah, those are my least favorite. For those on YouTube, 100%. Those are my least favorite teams, without a doubt. Good job, BC. Way to be on your toes. For those not listening on YouTube, my least favorite teams are all tied for dead last, and where they all deserve. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Everyone's listening.
Dead last. The New York Flakies, they're doing a really good job tonight in the World Series against the LA Dodgers. Go Jays. The Toronto Make Me Laughs. Heck of a year. Heck of a start, guys. Stay hot. And the Wolverines. I mean, they've never won a national championship in my lifetime that hasn't come with the cheating scandal. And what kind of coach takes a suspension and leaves? Just leaves. He quit. I've never saw a coach quit on a program like Jim Harbaugh did. I never saw a coach quit on a team like Jim Harbaugh did with the University of the Wolverine, whatever they're called. But yeah, they're going to get theirs. But I've never saw a coach quit on his team like Jim Harbaugh did. So they should be proud. They should build a statue of a quitter in Ann Arbor.
Well, at least their playoff run wasn't a cakewalk like last year. But anyway.
Yeah, because we won. We won. We beat every team. We had Ohio State had six top 10 wins. That's a heck of a year. Michigan hasn't had a ranked in the final week of the season. What's that?
Who'd they lose to in the final week of the regular season?
And it was an exhibition game. How did the potato game go? The Potato Bowl.
We won it, so who cares? We broke Alabama.
Against nobody. Congrats.
Alabama.
That's the standard at Michigan, though. The Idaho Potato Bowl. That's the new standard.
Against Alabama.
Yeah, against nobody who played.
We didn't get an easy game like Texas.
Who played? And we won no problem. No one played in the game.
Shout out BC.
Yeah. All right. I'm fired up. Good week. Go Jays. They got guys on third and first right now. It's Tuesday. It's Monday night. We're recording. Barger's up. They got guys on third and first. One out. Get hot. Please get hot. But
go Tigers. That'll do it for this week's episode of the OHL in 60 podcast. Tigers are on a golf course in Cancun with David Ortiz. Doing tequila shots and smoking cigars and wearing sombreros that are
I love Poppy.
Man.
Yankees lose. There you go, BC. Yankees lose.
Oh, we appreciate it as always, everybody, for those tuning in on YouTube, on the Armchair GM Sports Network, and for you listeners listening on audio platforms. Thank you very much. For Colin Ward, for BC, I'm Reece Doumani. We will chat again in 7 days.
You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.